Hello everyone, and welcome to the podcast. I'm Emma Hartley, and today we are talking about daily English practice, a gentle, low-stress, realistic way to make English part of your life. If you're listening right now, that decision to improve your English is already an important step.
Hi, I'm Miguel Alvarez. I'm an applied linguist and habit formation coach, and I'm excited to walk through the science and the practical routines that make small daily actions really work over time. Emma, I love that opening. It feels calm and possible.
Thank you, Miguel. By the way, before we begin, I want to say this episode is for adult learners who want simple steps, not pressure. We'll talk about the fresh start effect, fears, tiny routines, and give you several 10-20-minute plans you can try tomorrow morning.
Perfect. So let's start with that idea of a new beginning, the fresh start effect. Research shows that people are more likely to start and stick with goals after temporal landmarks like New Year's Day, birthdays, or Monday mornings. It creates a mental separation between the old me and the new me.
Yes, exactly. I tell my students that New Year's feels like a fresh page. It's not about erasing what came before. It's about saying, today I'm a learner. That shift in identity can be surprisingly powerful. And it reduces guilt, too.
Right. And listeners might remember times they bought a course and then stopped after a few weeks. That's common. But using a fresh start as a reset rather than proof of failure makes it easier to try again and keep going.
Right. And Miguel, can you explain briefly why fresh starts help habit formation? How does psychology explain this?
Sure, and I'll keep it short. Fresh starts act as temporal landmarks that help people mentally separate from past failures. They're moments when people feel permission to reinvent themselves and to set new routines. That mental separation reduces the weight of past missteps and increases commitment to a new plan.
That's comforting, isn't it? It means your past attempts don't have
क्या
to
गया?
define your next steps.
फिलहाल कुछ नहीं.
Okay, so once we've accepted this fresh start, what's the single most important principle we want listeners to take away? I'll say it. Consistency over perfection.
Yes, you do not need to be perfect to learn English. You only need to be consistent. Tiny daily doses beat occasional binges. Think of it like brushing your teeth. Small, regular actions build strength and routine.
Exactly. And many learners believe the myth that they must sound like a native speaker or never make mistakes. But that's not the goal. Instead, aim for communication and improvement. Native speakers make mistakes too, you know?
Totally. There is no single perfect English. There are varieties. American, British, Australian, Indian, Nigerian, Singaporean English. Even within countries, accents vary widely. Trying to copy one ideal accent can be demotivating and unnecessary.
By the way, listeners, if you feel anxious about making mistakes, you are not alone. Many people stop because they fear embarrassment or remember a harsh correction from school. Let's talk about that fear, why it happens, and how to reframe mistakes.
Good point. The fear is mostly social. We are wired to avoid embarrassment. Speaking a foreign language often feels like returning to childhood, where we might sound less competent. But from a learning perspective, mistakes are actually helpful. When you err and then correct or notice the difference, your brain creates a stronger memory.
Yes, mistakes are your teachers. I always tell students, every wrong sentence points you toward what to fix. Instead of, I'm so stupid, try thinking, great, now I know what to practice. It's a small wording change, but it helps the emotions a lot.
And emotionally reframing mistakes is crucial. Replace self-criticism with curiosity. When you feel embarrassed, say to yourself, okay, what did I mean? How can I say that better next time? That turns anxiety into a practical learning moment.
Miguel, could you give us a quick example from your work where a tiny habit beat an intensive but rare study session?
Sure. I worked with professionals who only had busy weekdays. One person listened to English podcasts for 15 minutes each morning during their commute, 5 days a week. Another studied 2 hours on Sundays. After 6 months, the daily listener had more fluent listening comprehension and felt more confident speaking because the frequent exposure tuned their ear and reduced pressure.
That's such a good example. Little steady exposure helps the ear and the mind. Okay, let's move into the practical, daily micro habits you can start tomorrow. I'll begin with something very simple, your morning sentence.
Go on, Emma. I love this ritual idea.
When you wake up, say one sentence in English. It can be as simple as, "Today is a good day," or "I will practice English for 10 minutes." You can choose categories: gratitude, "I'm grateful for this new day." Focus, "Today I will practice English for 10 minutes." Identity, "I am an English learner. I'm improving every day." Saying one sentence creates a ritual, like brushing your teeth. It starts your day with the identity you want.
Yes, and from a habit formation view, that morning sentence is a tiny behavior with a clearly defined cue, waking up, and a predictable response. It's easy to do and builds identity. James Clear talks about similar ideas. Identity-based habits are more sustainable than goals alone.
Nice mention. And listeners, remember, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, that's enough, right? Now, let me share 3 sample micro routines you can try, depending on your time.
I'll add a science note as you go, Emma. Small routines reduce friction and keep the brain in an input plus production loop. Okay, your routines?
Routine 1, listening focused, 15 minutes. 2 minutes, morning sentence plus 3 deep breaths. 10 minutes, listen to a slow podcast episode or a short YouTube lesson. 3 minutes, repeat 3 to 5 sentences you heard out loud. That brief repetition helps pronunciation and memory.
Routine 2, balanced skills, 20 minutes. 5 minutes, read a short text or a graded reader paragraph. 5 minutes, notice and underline 3 useful phrases. 5 minutes, speak those phrases out loud in your own sentences. 5 minutes, write 3 to 5 sentences about your day or plans. This blends listening, reading, speaking, and writing in a compact block.
Routine 3, busy day, 5 to 10 minutes. 3 minutes, listen to audio while making coffee. 2 minutes, say your 3 favorite English sentences out loud. Optional, 5 minutes later, read 1 short paragraph on your phone. On tired days, do something small. Consistency beats motivation.
Great. And to underline the math, 10 to 20 minutes a day is 70 to 140 minutes a week. Compare that to someone doing 2 hours only on Sunday. The daily person typically makes more steady progress because the brain benefits from frequent exposure and spaced repetition.
Yes, I sometimes tell students, if you can only do 5 minutes, do 5 minutes. Keep the identity alive. Now, another important practice is talking to yourself in English. Sounds odd, but it works.
Totally. Self-talk is low pressure and high benefit. It's active production without fear of judgment. You can do it while walking, cooking, or even in the shower. Describe what you're doing. I'm washing the dishes. I'm going to work. Plan your day aloud. This morning I will send 3 emails. These simple sentences practice past, present, and future tenses naturally.
And for those who feel silly, many athletes visualize and talk to themselves before big performances. You're practicing, not acting strange. You can whisper or think the sentences quietly. It counts. Miguel, do you have quick prompts people can use right now?
Yes, a few prompts. Describe actions. I'm making breakfast. Reflect feelings. I feel a bit tired today, but that's okay. Plan. Tomorrow I will call my friend. Use time markers like yesterday I, today I am, tomorrow I will. These tiny patterns give natural practice with grammar.
Wonderful. Now let's talk about listening, the first strong skill. I often say listening is your strongest skill right now. You do not need to understand every word. Understanding the feeling and the main ideas is enough.
Yes, the natural order idea, children listen for a long time before speaking, applies to adults too. Listening tunes your ear to rhythm, intonation, and common chunks. Over time, you feel what sounds right, even before you can explain the grammar.
Listeners, pick materials you enjoy. Slow podcasts, learner-focused shows, YouTube channels that use simple English, or clayded audiobooks. And here's a stress-reducing strategy. Listen once without pausing to get the flow. A second time, focus on main ideas. Who, what, where, when, why.
And if you want, try shadowing, but only when you feel comfortable. Shadowing means repeating short phrases after the speaker to copy rhythm and stress. It's powerful for pronunciation, but it can be tiring. Use it as an optional tool.
Now reading. I'll say it again. Easy is good. Start with graded readers, short news for learners, or children's books. Don't stop for every new word. Flow matters more than perfection.
Exactly. If every sentence has multiple unknown words, the text is too hard. Aim to feel like you understand 80-90% of the text. Guess meaning from context and only look up words that repeat often or are essential to understanding.
Here's a simple reading routine. 5 to 10 minutes a day. Read one page without stopping. Mark 3 to 5 words to check later, and then quickly look them up. Optionally, write 1 or 2 sentences using those words. That keeps momentum and builds vocabulary without killing the flow.
Great. Now, writing, think of it as talking on paper. Even 5 sentences a day is powerful. Writing slows down thought, helps you plan language, and later makes those structures easier to say aloud. Keep it simple and personal. Daily reflection prompts are ideal.
I like short writing prompts. Today I feel the best part of my day was, or I learned that. Write 3 lines of gratitude once a week. Use your phone notes if that's easier. Don't obsess over spelling. Focus on communicating.
And from a habit perspective, recording progress matters. If you keep short notes, you'll see improvement after a few weeks. Listening to your own voice or reading old notes shows how far you've come, which boosts motivation.
Let's address tired days. Some days you'll feel confident. Some days you'll feel exhausted. That's normal. On those low motivation days, adopt a minimum action strategy.
Yes, minimum actions could be 1 minute, say your favorite English sentence. 3 minutes, listen to a short podcast while brushing your teeth. 5 minutes, read 1 paragraph. These tiny actions keep the identity alive. I am someone who does English every day.
And importantly, they prevent the I stopped, now I have to restart problem. Even a short action stops inertia. So don't wait for motivation. Design an easy minimum that you can always do.
Now, Emma, can we talk about comparison and progress? Many learners compare themselves with polyglots or classmates and feel bad. How do you advise them?
I tell them, do not compare yourself with others. Everyone's journey is different. Different exposure, responsibilities, and starting points. Celebrate micro successes, understanding a joke, watching a scene without subtitles, ordering coffee in English without switching languages. Those are real wins.
And measure progress differently. Instead of tests and big benchmarks, look for daily indicators. One sentence understood more than yesterday, one new phrase used in speech, or one paragraph read without stopping. Write down 3 small wins each week. It rewires how you see progress.
Let's talk about accent and pronunciation. Many learners obsess over sounding native. You don't need a perfect accent. You need clear communication. Speak slowly and clearly. Confidence grows from clarity.
Yes, most people in the world speak English as a second language. Listeners want to understand you, not judge whether you're native. Practical tips? Slow down, use simple sentences, check understanding with phrases like, "Did that make sense?" or "Shall I repeat?"
And gentle pronunciation practice. Shadow short phrases. Record 1 minute of yourself once a week and listen back after a month. Don't expect overnight change. Notice small improvements over months. That's the realistic view.
Now, how to make English part of daily life in a fun way? Learning should feel interesting, not stressful. Watch movies, listen to songs, enjoy hobbies in English. When learning is enjoyable, the brain is more receptive.
For example, start a TV series with English audio and subtitles in your language. Then switch to English subtitles, and later try short scenes without subtitles. Or change your game language to English if you play games. These small choices wrap English into pleasure, not duty.
Music is another low-pressure avenue. Listen to songs you love, look up the lyrics sometimes, and sing along. Rhythm and connected speech are practiced naturally. It's learning disguised as fun.
We should also address the feeling of being alone. Many learners practice at home and feel isolated. You are not alone. Join online communities, comment on learning channels, find a language partner, or try a #30 days English challenge.
And if you can't join anything right now, remember this podcast can be a companion. Many listeners tell us they feel connected simply by tuning in. That sense of belonging matters. It reduces anxiety and increases persistence.
Let me tell a short story to make this concrete. A student in Brazil started listening to 10 minutes of English each morning during his commute. After a year of that small routine, he felt confident enough to interview in English and landed a job with an international company. That's one sentence, 10 minutes a day, and new opportunities.
I have a similar composite story. Someone who started with self-talk and 5 minutes of reading nightly. After months, they could comfortably participate in team meetings where English was used for technical terms. Small, consistent steps led to concrete career outcomes.
Stories like these show how English can change lives, careers, education, friendships, travel. It's real. Now, let's close with a practical exercise you can do right after this episode.
Yes, choose one tiny habit from this episode and do it tomorrow for 1 week. Options: 1 morning sentence, a 10-minute listening block, 5 sentences in writing. Write it down. My new English habit, blank. Keep it visible.
And remember, you don't need to do everything at once. One consistent habit is better than 5 that disappear. If you stick with one small thing, the identity shifts to I am an English learner, and other habits follow naturally.
Before we finish, a quick toolkit recap. Morning sentence for identity, micro routines for daily practice, self-talk for low-pressure speaking, listening first to tune your ear, easy reading for flow, brief writing for planning, minimum action on tired days, and celebrating micro wins to avoid comparison.
That's a lovely summary. Miguel, any final mindset tip for listeners who might be nervous right now?
Yes, treat mistakes as feedback, not failure. When you feel fear, ask a practical question. What's one concrete thing I can do now? Do that. Small actions reduce the power of fear and build momentum.
And I'll add, be kind to yourself. Learning a language is like building a bridge. On one side, there's fear and silence. On the other side, there's connection and confidence. Every tiny daily step, one sentence, one paragraph, one short listen, is a step across that bridge.
Beautiful metaphor. And a quick practical pointer. Once a week, record 1 minute of yourself speaking about anything. A description of the day, a reflection, or a short story. Keep the recordings. After a month, you'll hear progress that's often invisible day to day.
Yes. Okay, before we go, a tiny challenge for our listeners. Pick a morning sentence right now. Write it down, say it aloud 3 times, then choose one micro routine for tomorrow. That's your plan.
And one more. Pick 3 small wins you want to notice this week. Maybe I listened to a podcast. I wrote 2 sentences. I spoke to myself for 2 minutes. Celebrate them at the end of the week.
Thank you for listening. If this episode helped, please consider sharing it with a friend who might benefit from a fresh start. And remember, you don't need perfection. You just need consistency.
Thanks, everyone. If you like the science and the practical tips, try one thing tomorrow and tell someone about it. Accountability helps. Good luck, and keep taking those small steps.
One final note from me. Be gentle, be curious, and enjoy the process. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.